Hey everybody, and welcome to their Tausken review. Today we're going to be taking a look at Inscryption, probably one of the most unique and interesting games I've played in a while. I'm going to be pretty light on the story and mechanics because I think Inscryption is best played with as little information as possible. Inscryption begins with you stuck in a creepy cabin in the woods type of setting. All you know is that you're stuck at a table with a man across from you that is forcing you to play a game. Occasionally you'll be given the options to manipulate your surroundings, getting up and walking around, interacting with different objects in sort of a more point and click type of manner. Also completing different types of puzzles, which can be challenging as well, but for the most part you're stuck to the table playing the different games. It's a wonderfully creepy game that sometimes teeters into the edge of horror, but at its core it's really more of a mystery game. Throughout the gameplay, you'll unravel pieces of the story as you peel away different elements, as you get new things, as you progress through different bosses, etc. And occasionally you'll be given the option, like I mentioned earlier, to stand up and interact with your surroundings for some light puzzle gameplay, which can be pretty fun and mixes things up. All this is wonderfully enhanced by some excellent visuals and sound effects that will really keep you immersed. The gameplay starts out as more of a traditional roguelike deck builder. Like other deck builders, you're given a handful of cards and periodically you'll add, subtract, or enhance the deck. It's both challenging and rewarding and well done, and it's definitely fun to see like your unique combinations that you'll build as a player come to life, and then seeing whether or not they succeed or fail just like any other deck builder. There's a pretty decent amount of variety as well, so the choices that you make will always kind of keep you guessing and improving. You'll always have some new options that you can mix with, and just when you've progressed far enough and you think, oh, okay, I've seen everything, it adds in new cards, new mechanics, etc. that will flip things on its head and add new ways to play. I mentioned earlier some boss fights as well, and those are pretty fun. There's some interesting, unique mechanics around some of the boss fights that make each of them a real treat to play against, so they kind of mix things up from the more traditional fights that you'll be given within the game. Now, I've praised Inscryption quite a bit, but I do think this game does have some issues, particularly in the more mid to later sections of the game. It kind of mixes up some of the mechanics a little bit in ways that I don't think is really as good. The first part of the game is 100% the best part of the game. Towards the mid section of the game, it kind of changes things up a little bit, and that's, in my opinion, not as fun. And the later section of the game kind of recovers a little bit, but it's still not quite as entertaining as the first section of the game. Overall, though, I think Inscryption is a freaking awesome game. This is like an easy 8 or 9 out of 10 if you had to give it some kind of a number scale, because it is a ton of fun. It's always keeping you guessing, the story is interesting, there's unique twists and turns, the gameplay is fun and always fresh, it never feels like it overstays its welcome, so this game is a hard recommend for anybody even remotely interested in this game. I would highly recommend if you go into this game, go in blind as much as possible, because you're going to definitely benefit from just having as little information as possible for the story. And that's it for Inscryption. Wanted to keep it short because I do think this game, like I mentioned, benefits heavily from knowing as little as possible, but I would highly recommend this game still, and we'll see you guys in the next Tausken review.